Yeah, what's up? What's happening? Welcome to my live stream, The Actual King Smith. I'm your boy, King Smith. Yes, that is my government name for those of you who were wondering. All right, so what are we talking about here today? We're going to talk about President Joe Biden's executive order on cryptocurrency and what I think it means. This isn't going to be a long stream because your boy got stuff that he's got to get done tonight. So I'm just going to give a quick little overview and highlights of what I read, what I think about it, and cover my thoughts and answer some questions that y'all might have if I have any viewers for the live stream tonight. I'm on a little bit later than usual. I even scheduled it for 8:30 and said, you know what? I'm ready now. So I'm just gonna click start and get this thing popping. First of all, where can you find me? I'm streaming across multiple platforms currently: YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch at the actual King Smith. And you can find me on Twitter at actual King Smith. I wish I had enough clout that I could petition Twitter to allow me to add some more letters in that joint, but they wouldn't let me. All right. So we got Cassidy Good that said, "Let's go, King. Tell us what's up." Hey, Cassidy, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna see what I can bring to this live stream today that could be of some value. I took some time to really try to dissect what I thought about, certain things and try to see if I could get the digestible information. Because look, who's got time to read a whole executive order? Them things can be long and boring. Matter of fact, if you want to try to get some good sleep, get an iPad in front of you while you laying down. All right. Put that joint in front of your face and read an executive order. That's how you can get some good sleep right there. But I read it. I read it a couple of different times because I wanted to know what information was in it. And then look, the whitehouse.gov also puts out a fact sheet. And primarily, I'm going to go over that fact sheet real quick because it gives the bullet points and highlights of what the executive order covered. So before I get into that, a couple of things. And then Cassidy said, too true. Let's see. I have some things upcoming that I do want to talk about that I've got going on that I think is dope. On Monday, I'm going to host my first AMA. I'm going to get cleaned up. Your boy looking pretty straggly over here, but I'm going to get cleaned up as I'm hosting a video AMA with the BACC finance team. Minus one. Minus one. Had some interesting news. I didn't ask questions, but one of the core team members is not a part of the team anymore, and that's unfortunate for a couple of different reasons. Primarily is I'm not a fan of change, but when I thought about something, I've been in with Sheba since Sheba was in its infancy, okay? And a part of their core team isn't who's a part of their decentralized core team now. I like who they have over there. They've had the people that they've had for a long time now. Shout out to Queenie, who's kind of like their marketing head or figure point over there. She does a really good job whenever she comes on to talk about all things Shiba and updates like that, and over in the Discord. Okay, but BCC Finance had a recent change, and initially I was kind of like, but I'm still rocking with it because what's still working for me, my NFT bonds. Okay, I reset my timer so that I can claim it early in the morning. So when I wake up, I listen to the news. I know I'm old, right? Who listens to the news in the morning? Well, when you get over a certain age, information matters. That's my take. Information matters. So I listen to the news as I wake up. All right, brush my teeth, wash my face, all of that jazz. And then I get on my computer before work and I go to BACC.finance and I click claim on my bond to get my approximately $20 worth of BACC. Okay, it's been paying out that dividend pretty consistently. I have checked, you can swap it from BACC to Crow or any other cryptocurrency pairing on Finance. Okay, so there is that. I'm just going to put that out there. So yeah, AMA Monday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. It is going to be a video, ask me anything, primarily regarding the white paper, which is like uh, think of the white paper as a bit of a use case, if you will. Okay, detailing the technology behind BACC Finance and what they're planning on executing. So I got all of that stuff out the way. I got all that out the way. Enough about that. First of all, before I get started, let's put this up on the screen. What is an executive order? An executive order is a signed, written, and published directive from the POTUS, which is President of the United States, that manages operations of the federal government. See, not only do you get education over here, but you get a little bit of entertainment as well. So if you've never known or heard of an executive order, that's what it is. All right. So why is this a big deal? Well, every president since the very first one, I believe, has issued an executive order. There's been over like 13,000 executive orders. It's kind of like guidelines behind how a certain agency should operate, you want to have those guidelines, if you will, to establish a path and a plan going forward, and to also let the government and the public know what your government is looking at doing regarding certain information or certain, I'm not trying to say information, certain, oh man, why am I drawing a blank? See, this is why live streams are interesting. Certain subjects, okay, certain areas. All right. And while cryptocurrency has been around for a while, in my opinion, around 2017 is when you kind of started to see it be a little bit more mainstream and a little bit more accessible to the regular average person. Okay. I had heard of Bitcoin back in 2013, 2012, 2013. And obviously, hindsight being 2020, if I knew how to acquire Bitcoin back then, I would have put something on it. The hard challenge would have been as it started to rise, when do I, sell versus keep holding, wondering if it's going to go higher. That would have been the hardest part about that. I likely would have taken some profits along the way, but imagine putting in not even like $100 or $1,000 in Bitcoin back in, let's say, 2013. How much you have in Bitcoin now? All right. We got A Bomb, Itchy Palm. I like that name in the building. Said Ooga Booga King. I don't know if y'all can hear my sound effects. Let me know if y'all can hear my sound effects. I had some issues just before I went live, so I don't know if they're playing. If you could give me a 1 if you can hear, or a 0 if you couldn't hear that, I would appreciate it. So we got what an executive order is. Now, this is the first executive order regarding cryptocurrency by any president, and it came in 2022. But 2022 isn't the first time that our governments in US have been talking about cryptocurrency. They've always been interested in it. Okay. But when I was looking at the executive summary, y'all can't hear the sound effects. I gotta fix that. Thank you. Man, that makes things less funny and entertaining if I can't use my sound effects. But going back to the executive order, I've linked the full executive order that President Biden issued into the description on YouTube and Facebook. So you'll have the links to that. You'll be able to check it out. Twitter and Twitch don't allow me to do that. But I got the executive order and the fact sheet listed there. And I'm going to share my screen and I'm just going to highlight a couple of different things. I think yep, it froze for a second, but we're back on here. Okay. So this is the executive order. It's long. I didn't highlight things on this because the fact sheet covers a little bit of what is in this executive order. The stuff that it doesn't cover here is you'll see dates. You'll see that like, for example, this one right here, within 180 days of the date of this order, all these people, heads of their respective government agencies, shall submit to the president a report on the future of money and payment systems, including the conditions that drive broad adoption of digital assets, the extent to which digital innovation may influence these outcomes, and the implications for the U.S. financial system, the modernization of and changes the payment systems, economic growth, financial inclusion, and national security. Okay. So this is in regards to the creation of something that they're calling CBDCs, which is U.S. Central Bank Digital Currency. And that's the part that's got me interested and perked up, which I'm going to talk about a little bit later on. Okay. So let's go to the quick hit sheet of everything that this executive order covered. All right. So this is a bulleted point, quick summary of everything that was in this full executive order that the president issued. The first bullet point basically talks about, hey, um, I want to call for measures that can ensure protection of U.S. consumers, investors, and businesses by directing, and this specifically the Department of Treasury and other agency partners to assess and develop policy recommendations to address the implications of the growing digital asset sector and changes in financial markets for consumers, investors, businesses, and equitable economic growth. I'm wondering what covers equitable economic growth. Is that like everything else? That's the part that had me curious. If there's somebody that's smart that's in here, y'all let me know what equitable economic growth could mean. Okay. It also covers protects the U.S. and global financial stability and mitigates systemic risk by encouraging the Financial Stability Oversight Council, which is a council of senators, to identify and mitigate economy-wide financial risk posed by digital assets and to develop appropriate policy recommendations to address any regulatory gaps. All right. When I read that, I thought this is about doing due diligence, okay, and understanding what this change in from going from dollars to, let me see if I got some money on me real quick. Okay, let's do a little bit of a history education level. This in the US is how I am able to go to a store and trade this fiat, okay, which is a US backed currency, to go and purchase a bottle of water at the local Sheetz gas station. Now, this is backed by the Federal Reserve, and I'm doing air quotes because there's a lot of conspiracy theories, people out there that say that, hey, I can trade this 20 to purchase goods and services, okay, and that there's value in this currency because it's backed by the Federal Reserve System, and we've gone from paper money essentially to being able to, I can use my phone to pay for something. Okay, I can tap my watch, which is linked to my bank account, which is backed by a government backed currency. Okay, but for the most part, like when I work, I don't get paid cash. I get paid ones and zeros. Okay, I wish I had some commas in those ones and zeros, but what I meant by that is I get paid in digital money. Okay, now we have a comment before I go to the next thing. Cassidy Goods stated that equity is the value of what someone owns, so that just means increasing America's wealth. Cool, cool. Okay, I'm glad that you were able to kind of provide a little bit more context to that. I appreciate you for that one. All right. Let's see. The next bullet was about mitigate the illicit finance and national security risk posed by the illicit use of digital assets by directing an unprecedented focus of coordinated action across all relevant U.S. government agencies to mitigate these risks. So, this is a nice little summary of what was actually in this executive order. And my phone is not on mute. Hold on. How do I stop this? This is actually somebody who watches my stream too. Let me turn my phone on focus. Hey, CJ, I'm live, fool. Come watch the live stream, man, instead of calling me. All right. Shout out to him. I did an interview on my channel. You can actually go check it out. This dude turned a couple of thousand into 200,000, and we put the receipts on there as well. I've done 2 crypto interviews, one with CJ and another one with the lady who got me into cryptocurrency. And I have a playlist on my YouTube channel called Crypto Interviews. Go check that out. Throwing in a little plug to my channel. All right. But I was saying that this paragraph right here that I've got highlighted, that was a whole long section that included I'm talking like the coordination between, it was like 10 different federal agencies on how to mitigate risk and go after people that do illicit things with digital assets. Because look, let's be straight up. There are a lot of bad characters out there that one of the reasons why they like blockchain technology, while it's transparent, okay, you can go to the blockchain, and if you know how to read stuff on the blockchain, kind of see what's going on to an extent. There's no KYC behind certain cryptocurrency events, meaning like I can send money from my DeFi wallet to basically anybody out there that has a DeFi wallet address, and nobody has to know who that was sent to, versus if I use something like Zelle.
Sorry,
All right.
did you say that again?
Shut up, Siri. Versus if I use something like Zelle, or transfer from one bank account to another, that record of that happening is known of who I'm sending it or who it's being sent from and who it's being sent to, because of current government regulations regarding the banking industry and how centralized it is. Okay. The US government, while they're having regulations and things being put around cryptocurrency, one of the original appeals about cryptocurrency was the decentralization of it. Okay. There's always, how do I say this? Always. It's not a bad thing to create a framework around cryptocurrency by our government, in my opinion. I think it allows for a little bit better protection from the average consumers. Okay. Because look, I'm just going to say some people are just downright dumb, stupid. And I wish I had sound effects right now. Let me zoom in on me real quick. There's a lot of stupid people out here in the world. Let's just call it what it is, okay? And if there's a way to get duped, you can get duped. Now, some ways of getting duped are really smart and sophisticated, all right? And it is what it is. Those people are highly intelligent and they figured out a way to even dupe other smart people. But some folks are just downright dumb. And if they didn't have things to protect themselves from themselves, in my opinion, some people there'd be a lot more homeless people out there. But that's a whole nother subject. And I just wanted to get that off my chest real quick because I've talked to some really dumb people here lately. All right. And look, I started going in and being ignorant, and I got more viewers on my channel right now. But let's get back to the executive order. So I'm going to skip this bullet here. This one says promote U.S. leadership in technology and economic competitiveness, yada, yada. Look, the US doesn't want to lag behind other countries that are adopting cryptocurrency. And this bullet and part of the executive order established the framework into which the US wants to be one of the leading forces in cryptocurrency, or leading governments in cryptocurrency. And there were several bullets in the executive order that covered that. And I want to say this one had a bit of the shortest timeline too. So every one of these bullets that are listed on this quick fact sheet here gave a deadline as to when the reports needed to be like back up to the president, doing like a gap analysis, strengths and weaknesses, impacts, all of that stuff. Okay. So there's going to be really smart people looking at this stuff and providing recommendations, people that we voted, all right, or people that who we voted that then went and found smarter people to go do the things that they're trying to get done by this executive order. All right. Let's see. So this bullet here, promote equitable access to safe and affordable financial services by affirming the critical need for safe, affordable, and accessible financial services as a U.S. national interest that must inform our approach to digital asset innovation, including disparate impact risk. All right, I thought about this one for a second. I know people who don't have a bank account. There's people that say that they don't trust banks. And, they might have a good reason to. I can say in all of my adult years, I, King Smith, have never had a single bank issue in the times that I've been banking with the banking industry. Okay. And I've had a couple of different banks. I have my pros and cons about certain banks. Like will likely never bank with Bank of America again. All right. I'm just going to call them out publicly. I am likely not going to bank with Bank of America ever again. But for the most part, I haven't had any issues with my money inside of a bank. Now I'm also not stupid rich either. I wonder how I would feel if I had multiples of millions of dollars and I needed access to my money, like Ryan Coogler. I don't know if y'all heard about the guy from Black Panther. He's the director of Black Panther in Georgia. He would now. This is a bit of a sidetrack. He walked into a bank, okay, and this was back in January of this year. But the stories kind of start making its rounds now. He's got a mask on because states and places are still requiring the use of masks. Now I know that in banks and in casinos and certain things they had um safeguards in place to where like even if you walk into a casino, right, and the casino still requires you to wear a mask, you have to take your mask off for a second, show your face to their cameras or whatever, and then you were allowed to proceed and go back in. I still thought that that was some of the stupidest shit ever because why? I don't know. It just didn't make any sense to me. But for the security wise, they wanted to be able to see your face. Well, banks were kind of set up like that way too. Banks that were open in the lobby that were still requiring you to wear a mask before you got in, most, not all, but most would require you to show some type of identification and why you were there banking at the bank before you were allowed in. Okay, that's a security measure. It makes sense. Okay, so Ryan Coogler initially passed the first part, got past security, gets in. He's wearing his mask. He asked the bank teller, and I'm kind of paraphrasing here, that he wants to withdraw, and they even put the amount, which I thought was kind of classless too. And guess who it was? Bank of America. Man, I wish my Mario sound effect was working right now because he, asked for a withdrawal of $12,000 of his money, and he asked for it to not be counted like out loud or up front so that people didn't see him leave with large sums of money. Now I can imagine I don't have a mask near me, but I got these socks that were given to me as a Christmas gift. I can imagine I'm walking into the bank, I'm wearing a mask, all right. I'm asking for money and I'm like, hand me $12,000 and don't count it in front of people. I can imagine that a teller might get a little bit suspicious by that, which this teller, which they identified as a pregnant lady, thought that she was getting robbed. Okay. And she hit the silent alarm, called security, cops showed up, drew a gun on him. And he's kind of like, whoa, 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 what's going on? Which I can imagine anybody would flip out. And then, lucky for him, he was kind of like, you know what? Y'all got it. All right. Y'all got the guns on me. I ain't trying to be shot in here in the bank for doing something where I'm withdrawing my own money. Okay. And I went off on this tangent just to highlight the fact that while I do trust banks, all right, because I haven't had any issues, I can see that there could be issues that when you're trying to get your own money coming into something like that. Now, what's the alternative? Especially if you're a multimillionaire, okay? Can't just have money in your house like that. People know you got money in your house like that. Unscrupulous individuals will come and jack you. Anyway, that's my tangent on that. But when it talked about right here, promote equitable access to safe and affordable financial services, yada yada, there's still people that don't trade in cryptocurrency or invest in cryptocurrency because they feel as though it's a scam. And I said they feel as though it's a scam. Okay. People's and their feelings. My thing is right now, depending on when you invested in the cryptocurrency, you might have invested in what people are calling like the crypto winter. If you got in around like November of 2021, you're likely down in whatever you invested in. Okay. I don't think there's anything that's up or positive since November of 2021. If you got in before that, congratulations. You're still likely sitting positive right now. I am. Okay. But I've been in the cryptocurrency since the end of 2020 and I've held most of mine. I haven't completely sold or liquidated out of anything that I've invested in yet. I've been rugged twice where I've lost all of my capital that I've invested, but for the most part, I'm up in almost everything. Almost everything. All right. So the last two bullets here, I didn't even highlight this one. Support technological advances and ensure responsible development and use of digital assets by directing the government to take concrete steps to study and support technological advances in the responsible development, design, and implementation of digital asset systems while prioritizing, and this is important, while prioritizing privacy, security, combating illicit exploitation, and reducing negative climate impacts. I think all of that's a big deal. I think that this is a big deal. I didn't highlight it because it was such a short bullet, but this last one here, explore a U.S. central bank digital currency by placing urgency on research and development of a potential U.S. CBDC. Should issuance be deemed in the national interest? I don't think this is going away. This is not going away. So when I took a look, they've been talking about this central bank digital currency since January of this year and even before that. All right. I listened to the whole, it was like a 4 hour US Senate thing about cryptocurrency. I watched and listened to the entire thing. Now I played it on chipmunk mode, which means that I played it at like 1.75 times speed so that I could cut down on that 4 hour listen. But for the most part, it was our senators, talking about cryptocurrency. You could tell those that were invested and knew what cryptocurrency was at the time because of the words that they use. Like they use, words like blockchain, but when they talked about it in a way that let me know that they understood it. All right. But our Federal Reserve has been looking at this CBDC for a while now. It's my opinion that they're not going to put all of this time and effort behind the US CBDC, which stands for Central Bank Digital Currency, and not develop one. They're just not going to do that. So, in my opinion, which they have this whole report, which I haven't read this one yet. So this report, Money and Finance, or I'm sorry, Money and Payments, the U.S. dollar in the age of digital transformation, research and analysis. This was done by the Board of Federal Reserves, published in January 2022. You can find that on the Federal Reserve's website, right in here. Okay. I'd advise you go and read it. Like people say, do your own research. I'm going to read it and I'm going to talk about what I found in here as well. It's not riveting information, but the more you know, the better informed that you can be. Because if the US does do some type of central bank digital currency, there's going to be a player in the market that is going to benefit from that by maybe either bidding for the the people that come in and create the framework, the code, and the IT system for it, or the U.S. government could hire, internally, like government employees that know technology, that knows blockchain technology, and help get this thing built up. I highly doubt that way would go. So imagine being the company or whatnot that can come in and bid on something like that. And you've got US government money that's being thrown at you to help build this framework. If you're the company that can get in on that, I can see that being of value to whatever company that is or whatever system that kind of backs this. And if you're looking at something to invest in, that's what you should invest in. That's what I'm going to be invested in, you know? So I'm looking at this stuff because I'm trying to see where our government's going to go with the reports and things that's going to come out from this executive order and how that's going to shape and drive cryptocurrency in the future. All right. So I've been on for 30 minutes. I have only a few people watching, but I appreciate those few people that did come on and stay and are rocking with your boy. So y'all let me know in the comments on this live stream before I click off here in a couple of seconds or on the replay what y'all think. Let me know if there's other cryptocurrencies like Crow Millionaire. I like that name, Crow Millionaire. I hope I said that right. If y'all got any cryptocurrencies out there that I should be taking a look at, let me know. I'll go check them out. I don't take nothing off the table without going and doing my own due diligence first. But Crow Millionaire wrote, check out Crow Millions. Okay. I see that now. It kind of took my brain a second. I'm like, wait, did I say that twice? Crow Melons. All right. And it says staking live. All right. Hey, I have a notepad that I keep of stuff that I hear about or things that people recommend. And I am adding Crow. Let me make sure I type this in right. Crow Million to that list. Boom. Too easy. I appreciate people coming in, shilling something, and giving me a recommendation because there's a whole lot of information out there. There's a whole lot of cryptocurrencies. There's a whole lot of exchanges. I've talked about the exchanges that I've used, and I've also talked about the cryptocurrencies that I recommend. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do a live stream about that, where I just go over the ones that I have and why I've got into them. All right, and why I plan on keeping them and why I would recommend them as well. The ones that I talk about on my channel are ones that I would recommend saying get, and it's where I put my money. Let's see. He said, I appreciate the shout out. Hey, okay, hold on. Say minting's almost sold out. Listing on Ebus's Bay, which is an NFT marketplace. As soon as I'm done with the stream, I'm gonna go check it out. But I gotta run. I gotta contact somebody real quick, and then I think I'm gonna get into some Xbox gaming tonight. Oh, and I'm going to work out because, man, your boy's getting overweight. Been overweight, but I'm trying to get back. All right. Y'all have a great weekend. I'll see y'all Monday on my AMA with BACC Finance. And until then, y'all know what to do.